let me put it in lame terms. I've been in a situation where I thought something, and then a noise was made. I'm pretty sure people can react. Maybe you were in the kitchen, you thought about something, and maybe it was towards the harassment, and then the harassment began. Or maybe you thought about a person, and then the phone rang. Or maybe you thought about going somewhere, and then you saw it on TV. If you watch TV, you saw it on an ad on social media or on Google, or maybe while you were on social media, somebody you followed, somebody's following you, brought up maybe what you had for lunch, maybe went where you were last week, maybe driving something that you drive, or something in relation to your life, right? The same thing that they do via street theater. For me, I've been noticing for the last 4 years, has also been displayed on social media and on the internet. So, what I'm trying to get to is what I've learned is that you have to realize what is real and what is not. And what they try to do via, whether you want to attribute it all to spirituality or you want to break it down, spirituality manipulating the technology, which is spiritual. But for those who don't understand that, the spiritual, right? What you understand is it's them giving you the thought and the reaction. But because you're not aware of that at that time, because you haven't been enlightened to think, or haven't just been brought to think that, you are now blaming yourself. You're now thinking that that was a thought you created and they read your mind, and now the noise happened. When in reality, they implanted the thought and followed up with the reaction. Example, let's say you think about going to Wendy's, and then you go to Wendy's and they don't have what you wanted to eat, and now you see just everybody in a red car sitting by you, right? So in your mind, you'll be like, oh, okay, like they knew I was going to Wendy's. Yes, that is, they may have known you were going to Wendy's. The reality was they pushed you in a time to go to Wendy's that was most convenient for the street theater. I need people to realize that they push you into situations that they already have set up. That's why I express people, being sporadic, being spontaneous as you can, repeating your steps, recording, not necessarily just going with the flow when you don't have to, because this is how they manipulate your planning. Now we know biblically these people work in a time that we are behind, so we know that these people, and these people, when I mean the higher ups who control the clones, the puppets, they work with a different time zone, different realm. So what has been said is they deal with time that are hid, but they're not omniscient. So I believe those are theories that are given to people, and I don't give Satan any credit. So some people are saying that because they're ahead of time, they're able to then try to reroute where we're going, but only the Most High is omniscient. And so they try to artificially create that. And so what I have, what my hypothesis as far as how they are able to push people in situations and set you up is by by getting you believe that first they are your thoughts. Now everyone by now who's being gang stalked knows about the V2K, Voice to Skull, or Voice to God weapon. Majority of the people know that by now, right? But I don't think people know as far as how detailed it is. It's not just, trying to, bring up insecurities. It's not trying to make you feel bad or trying to create trauma. It's not just that. That's exactly what they try to do. These people will put everything they're insecure about, everything that happened to them in their life, and they'll try to create it and theorize it in your life. They'll try to create scenarios that have never happened in your mind, just to get like you'll be at a place of content, trying to get to a place of peace. And as you elevate, they'll bring up traumatic situations, things that have never happened, just possibilities, right? Just things to annoy you, just to throw you off center. So I need people to realize that comes down to even you leaving out your house, to you making a left turn, to you making a right turn. You understand? This is spiritual. It takes nothing for Satan to whisper in your ear at a second. I mean, you guys understand how quick this is. And when these people work and operate on a lower frequency that which Satan manipulates, which they call high. See, Satan thinks he is who he isn't. So he thinks he's more than what he is. So that's why these people think, that's why they eat shit, they murder children, they're pedophiles, they're some of the most filthiest motherfuckers in the world, but then they call themselves high class because they can disguise it with money. You can't disguise shit with money. If I put $1,000 in shit, it's still gonna smell like shit. The value may not decrease as far as what's worth individually for the dollar, but the value overall as far as who is going to want to deal with these shit has dropped significantly. And so that's why I try to tell people that you're not dealing with high class people. You're dealing with high class thieves. Okay? And these people will do anything to manipulate those who don't care about these things. Okay? So understand, it is not always it's not always a chip. And I'm so surprised as so-called black people even leaning towards that theory in the beginning, because that's not something, so-called black people don't automatically go to just us being chipped. That's not a theory that, logically one would go to the spiritual aspect. Or, the Bible says that Satan is the prince of the air. Okay, he is the prince of the airways. Well, what's the airways? Television, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, 5G, communication, telepathy. That's how these people operate, man. These people operate in the realm of telepathy. They don't have to speak on phones. Okay? That's why they consider themselves to be supreme, is because the communication they have via Satan, right? Because you have to be connected. It's like a cell phone, man. If you're not connected to I have a Verizon cell phone line. I'm not on Sprint, but Sprint and Verizon can have towers in the same location, but the connection can never mix unless you manipulate the wire. Okay, so what they have done is, we are on a frequency of the Most High. They're on the frequency of Satan. They have manipulated our frequency so that they can interfere with our thoughts and movements, but they have been allowed to, right, for a temporary term. So this is the best way I can explain this. They have manipulated with another server's wires, all right, except for it is known, but let's not speak about that part. Let's just speak about the facts. So they've tampered with Verizon's wires, and now they're basically they have their phone tapping Verizon's calls for whatever reason, right? For the competition, So basically, they see us as competition, and they do what the FBI does to drug dealers. They tap the wires, they tap their phones, and to gain intel on the next moves. Except for these people don't understand that we aren't the bosses. We aren't the controllers of the next move. We don't give ourselves life to control our next move. So you're ultimately dealing with those who are in a delusion to believe that they give themselves life to control us, when they don't even control their own lives, let alone us control our lives. So the Most High has this thing the way he wants it to be. You understand that we're just dealing with imbeciles who are working for a big imbecile who's a big child, who just can't take no, who just doesn't understand that he will not be who he wanted to be, and he has put himself in a way worse situation instead of just shutting the fuck up and allowing things to go as planned. But now we have to shut the casket. Okay, so that's what we are here for. We as elected individuals here are to shut the casket. We're here to close the casket on Satan and all his buddies. Okay, we're here to let the world know that the Most High exists through perseverance.